Australia is a world leader in what I call lean manufacturing, where we have a fairly small market, and that makes us very good at building products like cars and other manufactured goods to satisfy that small market. And so we're very good at building tooling and factories that can make these products without requiring large amounts of money and large amounts of investment. So my specialty over the years has been taking what I learned in industrial design and designing manufactured goods that take advantage of our lean manufacturing expertise. And the companies I've worked in, both here and overseas, have really grown because we don't need billion-dollar factories to make these products. We can make them with far less and more modest expenditure. I'd have to say I spent most of my career in design and in venture capital investing in conventional products that you wouldn't call clean technology. However, in the late 90s I started getting more and more interested in clean technology, not so much because it was the environmental responsible angle, but just that I thought that if environmentally responsible companies had good business plans and were profitable, then in turn they would become successful. I think it's important that the clean technology, and as we move to a sustainable future, that it does play by the same market rules that all technologies and all companies have to play by. And I think clean technology will be successful because it's more cost effective, and I've applied my career to try and do that. That's a difficult question. It's probably a bit above my pay grade, but I can tell you what worked for me. I think you really need to be persistent. You need to really focus and apply quite a lot of effort over a long period of time. The old saying that a new company or a startup is 5% inspiration and 95% perspiration is true. Each startup that I've ever been involved with, and I think this is my 9th now that I'm currently working on, has always taken twice as long or 3 times as long as you ever thought it could, has cost twice as much as you ever thought it would probably cost. And the only way you ever get there is if you really apply yourself. Now, back when I got going, this was a fairly new profession, if you like, back in the 80s and 90s. But now, as we go into the new century, I'm finding that being an entrepreneur is far more recognised and a far more accepted role for people to follow, and is now being celebrated in these awards, and so that makes me happy. For my first company that I started on my own and my co-founders, I quit my job. I basically mortgaged everything I had, and so the risks that you take to get that first step are great. And you basically have an attitude that you are so passionate about what you want to do that you forget the conventional concerns that you might have about retiring with a nice superannuation fund. Now, we've all heard statistics. 10% of companies are successful, 90% fail, and there's a whole list of reasons why they fail. But obviously, being an entrepreneur is a risky business, and the ingredients for success are quite fickle and hard to define. But persistence is certainly the number one characteristic I would say that you would need. Back in the 80s in clean tech, our company was growing reasonably well in Australia, but we could see that our technology, we were a solar company developing utility scale solar technology. The real future for our company lay in the global application of our technology, the globalization of our technology in our company. So it was a natural step for us to go to California, to Silicon Valley, to take advantage of the real interest in solar technology at that time, and to build our company for the US and overseas markets and take our Australian technology, if you like, to the world stage. At the time it was frowned upon a little bit, but to me I think it was a good thing, because that company became far more successful by looking at the world as its market than we ever could have just looking at Australia. I'd like to think all of this work and endeavour will make a difference, that I have done my bit to accelerate the change to a clean technology, to a sustainable economy. I'd hate to think that what I've done has left the world in a worse place than when I started. In fact, I'm quite sure it hasn't. I think in the time that I've been involved in clean technology, we've now seen utility scale solar technologies being an accepted and credible alternative to coal-fired and gas-fired power stations, and I've worked very hard to see that happen. I'd like to see, as I go forward in my career, that I can do all I can to keep that momentum going. Sydney College of the Arts back in the 80s was a unique institution. It was the first foray of government-run schools and government-run universities to really focus on arts and design, and I was very happy to be a part of that faculty when it started. I think there were a few growing pains at the time in that arts and design don't naturally fit super close together, and ultimately the design school was taken into UTS, which I think has been a good thing. However, during my time at Sydney College of the Arts, I still had a great design education. We had a great workshop, we had a great hands-on training on how to practice my profession, industrial design, and I think there's been a lot of successful alumni come out of that course. And today, I mean, the faculty is a wonderful place for design and has branched off into all the other areas of design. The thing I like most about the design course then, and I believe is still now, that it's hands-on. Okay, industrial design is all about making things. It's what I call a nuts and bolts profession. And of course at the college we have a fully equipped workshop, so we're able to actually make what we design and learn about what's possible to make and what's not, literally with our hands, and actually making things in real life. It opened my eyes, and now I realised that I could compete in any country in the world and take technology which was just an idea and really put it in people's hands, take it to market, make it real. And that's what the course gave me back in the 80s. I love UTS because it's a technology institution. It's a university of technology. It applies technology. It gives students a hands-on feeling for their profession and their training. I'd encourage the university to continue to strengthen that hands-on approach and to continue to focus on students who can be innovative when they leave, because I think it gives you a great tool set to be successful, not just in Australia, but in our new global market.